This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, Gibbons, Adidas and Dumi head for the trees for the very first time.
Really pleased. You can't get anything better than a gibbon in a tree.
Heavyweight Hananya puts a punch bag through its paces. And something's bothering Chimp Freddy. But will the team get to the bottom of his problems?
Freddy just doesn't look entirely happy. He just looks a little bit concerned all of the time.
Monkey World's main aim is to provide a home to rescued apes and monkeys from around the globe. But some species are encouraged to have babies because they're part of international breeding programs. One of these is the woolly monkeys. And new mum, Paquita, is taking good care of her baby boy.
The baby's been with us for a month now, and Paquita is doing amazingly. She's a first-time mum, so it's always a bit up in the air whether she'd have all the skills to look after her baby, but she's doing fantastically. She's giving it just enough freedom to try new things, and hopefully that'll mean it develops into a very healthy, very confident little woolly monkey.
The park has had to hand rear 2 baby woolly monkeys that were rejected by their mothers. So it's great to see this mother and baby bonding naturally. But the big question is, what's he going to be called?
We've named him Raul because we think it's a nice, strong name, and judging by the size of his mum and his dad, he's going to be a very big woolly monkey.
Raul has certainly been given a good start in life. But Mum Paquita has her own ideas on parenthood.
Paquita decided to do things her own way. She wasn't carrying the baby how woolly monkeys normally do. Normally they carry them straight down their chest so it's easy for them to feed. She decided she was going to carry it like a human would, between her 2 arms.
And Raul seems to have inherited Paquita's rebellious side.
Raul has decided he's much happier on her back or hanging horizontally on her side, which is kind of out of the ordinary, but it works for these guys. And everything, even though it's not quite normal, seems to be going very, very well indeed.
Raul is just a few weeks old and is still suckling from Mum. But he's going to move on to solid food soon, and then life's going to get much harder for him.
The age that young woolly monkeys start eating solids does vary. Inca, our other youngest monkey, she didn't take food from the group's meals until she was about 3 months old. But woolly monkey mums are notoriously tough on their children. People imagine that they might hand them a bit of food or that kind of thing, but it really is what they can find and what they can fight to hold on to they're allowed to eat. And while it seems a bit harsh, it does make for tough babies who are nice and strong and able to stick up for themselves.
Just like humans, woolly monkeys have many different parenting styles. And while some are protective of their infants, Paquita's happy to have the family close by, especially 15-year-old male, Bronco.
Bronco and Paquita are very, very good friends. It's kind of a strange relationship because Lavar is the dominant male here. You'd expect him to be the most popular with all of the females. But Bronco seems to have excellent woolly monkey manners. And with Paquita, he's just been amazing. In the wild, the females wouldn't really let anyone interact with their baby for quite some time, but since about day 3, she's let Bronco sit next to her. He's even taken to cleaning the baby, which is kind of unheard of. It's brilliant for the group as a whole, getting to watch a baby being raised, and hopefully that will give them all better parenting skills for the future.
Later, Muller, Gibbons, Adidas and Dumi are up in the trees for the first time in their lives.
Adidas is in trees.
And it looks like Chimp Freddy's problems might be solved not by a vet, but a doctor.
You have to forgive us because we're not too familiar with the size and the shape of these animals.
Down at Hananya's chimp troop, and something new has got them all excited. Punch bags. The Primate care staff are always coming up with interesting ways to keep the chimps busy.
A couple of weeks ago, I got a letter offering us some punch bags from a sporting goods company, and this gentleman had kindly sort of offered these because he thought that the chimps might actually get a kick out of doing just that, kicking them about. So we're just interested to see if the guys like them, how quickly they can destroy them, because I suspect that they will. And we'll put a couple up and see how we go, basically.
When there's anything new in the area, it's normal for the alpha male to hang back and let the females and youngsters investigate first. And that's exactly what boss Hananya's doing. They play on them, swing on them, prod them, cuddle them, pick at them, and even eat them. But none of their investigations seem to be leading anywhere. Until alpha male Hananya decides it's time for him to show the others exactly what to do. And that's to display on it.
You see the alpha males sort of puff up and they get their hair all stood on end, and basically they charge around the enclosure, making themselves look as big and as ominous and as powerful as possible.
And this is exactly what Hananya's using the punch bag for. In the wild, large male chimps use branches and tree roots to intimidate other chimps.
So alpha male chimps will run up to big buttress tree roots and use them almost like drums, and you'll see them sort of virtually run up the side of the tree, stomping with their hands and feet, and that noise actually echoes throughout the forest. So they really do make quite a display using the various objects that are both on the ground and higher up by taking branches and breaking them off and lashing them about. And that's the kind of thing we're hoping for here. So actually, an unnatural item in the end might help promote natural behavior, and that's what we're all about.
So now that Hananya's shown them how to do it, the other chimps start their own versions of Hananya's display. None of which give quite as much punch as the big alpha males. By the looks of it, they could be displaying like this all day. But later on, the Bachelor boys get their turn on the punch bags. And what will they make of them? For the moment, the Bachelor boys' enclosure is uncharacteristically calm. And 19-year-old Freddy is particularly quiet. He's been having some problems with his bowels.
Freddy just doesn't look entirely happy. Like, you have to know the individuals and so on, but if you look at Freddy, to me, he just looks a little bit concerned all of the time on his face.
A year ago, Freddy had a similar problem, and the team decided to investigate.
So we had a chap in from the local hospital who actually got an endoscope up inside of Freddy and actually had a look at the inside of his gut wall, and we found that, you know, like so many humans out there, Freddy's actually got some piles, some hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids, or piles, are swellings in the back passage, which can cause intense pain and itching. And Freddy's been on a range of treatments to soothe the problem, but a year on, and he's still no better.
And so I think it was time that we actually do something about it. So today we're taking the next step. And basically, Freddy's having his hemorrhoids clipped today.
Over at the Parks Hospital, the medical team have prepped Freddy for surgery. Vet John Lewis will be keeping Freddy sedated, but the operation will be carried out by hospital consultants Andrew Clark and Thomas Dudding. They're specialists in treating piles on humans and use cutting-edge technology. The team feel that this pioneering surgery may be the only way of solving Freddy's problem once and for all. But the consultants have never dealt with a chimp before.
The only thing, Alison, do we have stirrups to put the...
No.
OK, you have to forgive us because we're not too familiar with the size and the shape of these animals.
You don't want to mess with an adolescent chimpanzee, really. They're incredibly dangerous animals. Yeah, so...
Maybe go to sleep.
Yeah.
My word with the anaesthetist. God, it's amazing flexibility. And, you know, that's just phenomenal, isn't it? Phenomenal.
Make good dancers.
It's been 2 years since Freddy first had his bowels checked, and now the team can take another look to determine the extent of his discomfort.
And head down, please.
And straight away, they can tell that Freddy's piles have got a lot worse.
Now that we've gotten in here and actually seen what's going on and the experts are here to deal with Freddy's hemorrhoids, I'm really pleased that we've done this for him, because now that we can actually see what's happening in there, he's got several areas that have really quite severe hemorrhoids.
At Monkey World in Dorset, in the park's hospital, chimpanzee Freddy has been sedated by anaesthetic, ready for the operation on his hemorrhoids. Consultant Andrew Clark is a specialist from the local hospital and has never worked on a chimp before.
And are these very common procedures for people? I mean, how often do you do this procedure?
Oh, we'll do 2 or 3 of these a week. There's day case procedures in ours.
Piles in humans are normally caused by either constipation or pregnancy. But it's very unusual for a chimp to have them.
He's the first chimp I've seen with piles. I've never heard other people flag it up either, so it is unusual. They don't spend their lives constipated, quite the opposite. But it's a problem for him. And clearly that just needs dealing with.
A procedure this complex requires a special probe called a proctoscope, which uses sound waves to locate the blood supply to each of the hemorrhoids.
That's the Doppler signal.
Yeah.
He's got a slow pulse, so it's easy to miss, but that, I think, is... So, Tom...
Once the blood vessels are located, consultant Andrew Clark uses stitches to tie a knot in the precise place, so he can cut off the blood supply to each of the swellings.
If we reduce the blood supply to the tissue, it'll contract down. We're already starting to see evidence of that. Now it's not pouting out as much and it feels a lot firmer, so I'm just going to try and put one more in and hopefully that'll do the job.
As the proctoscope is designed for humans, one of the challenges facing Andrew is to make sure the stitches are high enough so that Freddy can't pick at them. Someone's got to do it, so it's left to vet John to check.
Now, I don't think there's anything that he can get hold of. There's no long threads, there's nothing, there's just bunched tissue.
You can reach, but there's no edge to put a finger.
There's no edge to hook on.
I think we cut his nails right down. Right down.
Yeah, so but sort his nails out first then.
He may suffer from some slight discomfort for a few days, but with a bit of luck, Freddy's problems will have been solved.
The end result I don't think we'll see here. Part of the process will be this contraction as the blood supply is being reduced. So I don't think this is the end result, although it does look a lot better even now, so fingers crossed.
Although Alison is pleased with the way the operation has gone, there are still some unanswered questions.
There's that one little doubt in my mind that why did he get hemorrhoids in the first place? But maybe that's just his personal deal in life like it is other people. But we know his diet's good and we know that everybody else on the current diet is good. So I think it's just a case of trying to get Freddy's physical problem sorted out and he should be fine thereafter. Really happy.
And with the operation finished, Jeremy gives Freddy's nails a quick manicure so he won't be able to undo all of Andrew's good work. Later, Keeper Wendy is over the moon as 4 years of hard work finally pays off.
It's what makes this job the best thing in the world.
While Freddy is recovering from his operation, the rest of the Bachelor boys get their turn to see what they make of the punch bags. The Chimps are keen to investigate. And this being an all-male group, those investigations are likely to be much more boisterous than over at Hananya's. Just to prove it, first on the scene and ready to show everyone that he's king of the castle is up-and-coming Paco. Unfortunately, he's not the king of this particular castle, as alpha male Butch points out. But there's always the other punch bag for Paco to take out his frustration on. So the two heavyweights have proved their point. But what about the others? It's not long before these boys do what they do best. Break things. They're boisterous, heavy-handed, and destructive. Except that is for old boy Charlie. He's far too busy to bother with punch bags. It is lunchtime after all. And while Charlie's happily finishing off his meal in peace, the boys have had enough of tearing the punch bag to pieces. That game's got boring. Which means it's time for Charlie to have a go. He's waited patiently, he's had his lunch, and now it's his turn to be king of the castle. All by himself. Down at the far end of the park in the Gibbon house, it's a big day for Muller Gibbons, Adidas and Dumi. As today they're going outside in their new custom-built enclosure for the very first time. Although they've been outside before, they've never climbed in trees. Dumi is the first to take a few cautious steps outside.
Good girl.
And then goes back inside again.
Is it too much? That may have appeared to be a complete damp squib. However, yes, Dumi came out, she looked around, contact call all the time, calling to her mate who was too scared. He was sitting inside going, yeah, I'm staying in here, thank you. She came out, had a look. Didn't look very impressed, to be honest with you, but she was very brave to do that. She's been let out to a new area. She has no idea who or what is living in there. If she's going to be attacked, what's going to happen? So she went back indoors again. It's cold and it's raining and she's a sensible girl. That's fine. Gently and slowly is always good.
8 years ago, Gibbons, including Adidas and Dumi, were confiscated by the Taiwanese authorities after they were stolen from the wild and smuggled into Taiwan illegally for the pet trade. Sadly, hundreds of gibbons are kept as pets in people's homes across Asia, where they're viewed as status symbols. But quite often, the relationship between the owner and the gibbon breaks down as they mature and become aggressive. Luckily for Adidas and Dumi, Monkey World stepped in. And they were rehomed at the park, where they were given the chance to learn how to swing and communicate.
Stunning, absolutely stunning creatures.
Now the team has created this 2-acre enclosure, with trees that should enable the pair to behave as naturally as possible. And just when keeper Wendy and the team are about to give up...
And you do it when everybody else went away.
Adidas ventures out.
Doesn't like crowds for his premiere.
And heads straight for the trees.
Everybody goes away. We decide to just leave the skeleton crew. Adidas comes out. He's up in trees for the first time in his life. Delume's come and joined him outside, but she's not 100% convinced. Adidas is in trees. Oh, little man.
But the lure of the forest still isn't as tempting for Dumi, who's gone inside again to check things out from the window.
You're letting the girls down, Dumi. It is cold and wet. You know, Dumi hasn't come out that far yet. He's gone back in, checked with her, gone back out again. Honestly, love, it's fun. Come on. She's in there going, no, it's cold and wet. I'll wait till the sun comes out later.
It's a new experience for Adidas, who hasn't climbed in trees since he was stolen from the wild and his mother. So if there are going to be any problems, it's most likely to be with his balance.
Good boy.
But he's a natural. For Wendy and the Gibbon team, this moment has been a long time coming.
Really pleased. You can't get anything better than a gibbon in a tree. A gibbon that's been in captivity, who's been abused, who's been hurt, who's been wounded, who's been damaged, to go out in a tree. A full, big tree. Adidas has done that for the first time today. It's what makes this job the best thing in the world.
Next time, it's a Monkey Life special in Vietnam. Monkey World's exciting new project is up and running. A rescue centre for golden-cheeked gibbons and langurs. We meet the centre's newest gibbon, Ellie. She needs a health check to make sure she's fit to return to the wild. And it's an exciting and tense time as the team attempt to rescue their first Duke Langur monkeys.
We're just heading in now to see if we can either do this peacefully or perhaps not so peacefully. We'll see what happens.